Visit us at podlanderpresents.com to find information on all of our shows.
It's ridiculous. It wasn't funny the first time, and this time it's hilarious.
We are drinking little mimosas with Prosecco. What do you call a mimosa made with Prosecco? Is it still just a mimosa?
Mimosa.
It's from a different region.
Welcome to Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander podcast. I'm Allison.
I'm Julie.
I'm Amelia.
It's me, Amelia. We are talking about a truly excellent episode of Outlander, about which we have very few notes, although the ones we have are stanky.
Very large.
It is written in my own heart's blood, the penultimate episode of season 7B of Outlander. I'm gonna say the shit right now just so we get it out of the way, because otherwise I'm gonna be too hyped and I will forget. So this was directed by Joss Agnew, who, let's see, also I'm assuming he directed the next one. Ooh, he also directed the final 2 episodes of season 7A, which we loved both of. A Practical Guide for Time Travelers and Turning Points.
Welcome back, Joss.
Yeah, good job, Joss.
Joss, thanks.
But
was it your say-so that did 2 things that I hated?
Yeah. Joss will be calling you after we finish recording.
Yeah, we have questions.
We have your number.
It was written by staff writer Danielle Barrow, who has worked on the show for a long time, it looks like.
Right on.
Yeah. Good job, Danielle.
Yeah.
Great writing.
Get it.
And we also, let's really quick do our most important guest actors. Flory Wilkinson as Fanny Pocock.
Yes.
Ben Cura as Captain Jared Leckie, a.k.a. the 3rd best doctor in the world and the 2nd biggest son of a bitch in all of Pennsylvania, or wherever the hell they are. Andrew Whipp as Brian Fraser. Very important, Martin Ilberman as Oberst von Schnell.
Hell yeah, von Schnell.
Hyi, maybe? O'Grady. Apologies if I'm pronouncing your first name wrong. Hyoie. That is so many vowels. As Lieutenant Judah Bixby. We loved you, buddy. Wilf Scolding.
There he is again.
As our favorite Private Abraham Shaftstall. And Max Pemberton as Charlie Whelan. And also a whole bunch of flashback folks. People we saw in the montage at the beginning.
Murtaugh,
Fergus, Jocasta, Leary? Was Leary in there?
No.
Marsley, Walter Woodcock, Tiny Fergus, what's his face? What do we call the fucking Charles Stewart? What the fuck do we call him?
Bonnie Prince
Douchebag. Thank you. Obviously, our boy Murtaugh. Gary Lewis is Colin McKenzie. Graham McTavish is Dougal McKenzie. Both Frank and Jack. We got at least the back of Frank's head and his photo. Grant O'Rourke, we love you, as Rupert McKenzie. Stephen Bonnet.
Oh, we saw Angus too, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Very effective little flashback. I'm going to say my notes right now so that we have them out of the way.
Okay.
Fake Starz, bad.
Yes.
Bad.
Fake Starz, bad. Especially the one star
blinking out to Jiminy Cricket is
so
1939.
As our friend Amelia said, I don't need this Tinkerbell shit.
I didn't say that.
That's bad. 2, Ian's literal blood on his hands. Especially because it seemed like it was the wrong hand.
It was the wrong hand.
Yeah.
But his literal blood on his hands. We get it. Your wife is a Quaker.
Yeah. And
he is very lucky.
You're
she
upset.
is incredibly amazing and hot. And of course, when we're watching this episode on our Low Crowdcast, which they're fun, come join us. We're doing the last one of the season on the 17th, the day the episode releases in the evening. So please come join us. It'll be great. Anyway, we're doing our Crowdcast and we watch and we're like, ooh, good title card, a little poster and then, or not poster, painting. And then it zooms out and we get the back of Frank's head and the back of Bree's head and like, oh, where'd she get the red hair?
Look to the right.
Yeah. The fine people told us to check again.
Oh my God.
So we went back and looked at it again. And oh my God, fuck the Photoshop fuckery of putting just like a picture of Sam Heughan, just like bleep, just like bleep, right in the middle. What the hell?
It was bad.
Let's describe things that we did and as we reacted.
I left the room.
Allison left the room.
I screamed. I ran around.
I fell.
And put your head between your knees.
I did.
Yes. I fell on your couch and at first kicked my feet as if I was having a tantrum. But then in fear that you wouldn't realize I was there and would sit on me, Julie, I tried to slide gracefully to the floor. But then I got my knee stuck. And so I was in mortal peril. Just like, I don't know, the photograph of James Fraser on the battlefield.
Oh my God, it was really bad.
Oh God.
So it took me a minute to see that Claire was in there too.
Yes.
But
I was
Claire's-
overwhelmed by the badness of the Jamie inclusion.
Right. The Claire inclusion was subtle and actually kind of good because it blended in with that portion of the painting. The Jamie edition was terrible. It looked like he was a fucking, did you guys play with paper dolls when you were a kid?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like he was a goddamn paper doll
When I was
that they
a kid.
just yesterday they had just put his paper doll in his little general outfit right next to that cannon and put his hand on the cannon like, no.
It's so bad.
It's so insulting.
Oh,
They couldn't even try to like mimic the artistic style of this painting that ostensibly already exists because someone in the crowdcast kindly sent us a link to wherever it is. It's a real.
It's a real
They
painting
can't-
and a famous painting.
We won't even. They won't notice that it's different. Or it's either they won't notice that it's different, which is insulting, or it's they're going to need some help to know that Jamie's in the picture.
what?
Both of which are insulting.
I have another note. Literally, in this episode, Buck and Roger have a conversation that's like, hey, well, we were there. And while we were there, he came to see you. And because he came to see you, then they met. Ergo, I was born. Ergo, you were born. So maybe time travel is complicated. And instead, it's just like, no, the painting just gets repainted. It's just different people in the painting. But the painting is different than it would be otherwise. It's very complicated.
No.
Like if I had known that this level of just like insult and condescension as an audience member was on the way, I would go back, I would take every Beatles reference. I would take 7 more. I would put entire Sgt. Peppers on that battlefield. Had I known that this was coming, I would have been like, whatever. I don't care that Roger woke up to a literal beetle. I don't care about hello, goodbye. I have regrets. So hindsight is real, and I'm experiencing it
Amelia,
right now.
don't make it bad. Take a sad song and
Make it better. Make it better. Well, we're not going to make that fucking painting situation better. So
But
we get it out of the way. It was something we did not enjoy.
We're getting it out of our systems because the rest of this episode was so
really good.
fucking
Great.
good.
It was really good.
like a great one. Great.
Yeah.
Like thematically rich, well plotted, well structured, excellent makeup.
Oh my God.
People
yeah.
behaving badly in a way that makes sense for them as people, not in a way that makes you go, who is this person? We've been watching them for years. Why are they behaving
Why are
so
they
badly?
acting like this? Right.
Like,
no, it was all justified.
We have fashion eye patches once again.
We have fashion aprons.
Yes.
Pinafore back.
Many
Yes.
fashion aprons.
Fine woolens.
Numerous. We have
Great sweater.
We have Claire's version of and what part of this job requires a penis.
Yes.
Excellent. We've got lots of doom faces and none of them die. Who did not die? Like truly excellent. We get great Foley work.
It's okay.
We get, what else do we get? We get important cheese.
Incredible acting by Sam Heughan.
Oh yeah.
Which is
And everybody.
always
Katrina,
noteworthy.
also great. Wien, also great. Rachel, also great. Denzel, great. Like great.
Great.
Willie,
Great.
little Charles Vandervaart, great. Everybody, great.
Mr. Mustache,
Oh,
great.
and we already mentioned her by name. Fanny, little 13-year-old turning it out.
Yeah, really good child
Just
actor.
killing it. Kill it. Buck, great.
Oh,
Roger,
God, I love
great.
him.
One of the single most genuine laughs I have ever laughed in watching Outlander was their
thing.
little toast to, hey, remember when you tried to kill me? That was wild,
I
right?
see you, brother.
It was great. It's right up there with fucking Claire saying, I closed my eyes and thought of England in season 2. Like a genuine fucking belly laugh that elicited from me.
So the 2 bad notes are not enough to take away our full enjoyment. But we
let's
did
call
have
it 2.5 because I'm not actually all that mad about Ian's bloody hands, especially not compared
to the stars in the painting.
to the stars, but especially the painting. Even the stars look okay. I defy you, stars. And stars.
and stars.
Listen, as a premium female viewer, I would like fewer fake galaxies and more fashion pinafores.
Yes.
It's Windows 1797, my least favorite operating system.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. So plots.
Let's talk about our babyest plot, which is Bree and the Chillins preparing to go back in time.
I've got to say that the drawer thing was dumb.
This is. I need to refresh myself on this book, as I have mentioned in the season a couple of times so far. But that is book shit. It is, as a couple of book readers very helpfully reminded me in the Crowdcast, a lot less inelegant in the book. It's not quite so like, hold on, I got to put a letter in the mystery drawer. And then Bree's like, hold on, I got to put a letter for Roger in the mystery drawer. Oh, there's already a letter in the mystery drawer. And then they opened the letter and it looked like it was fucking pixel printed, like on a matrix printer.
It was papyrus. It was giving cursive papyrus.
It was giving papyrus.
It was giving Avatar.
The way of water.
Yeah, it was confusing. It didn't really make any true sense because they clearly already have that desk has never moved from Lellybrock. They've been fucking with that desk in the modern day time this whole time, and then all of a sudden this letter appears. Makes no fucking sense.
Based on, like thinking about time travel in a complex and interesting way, in theory, that letter would have had to be there and then no one would see it forever. Right? Like that's how it would have to be hidden, because otherwise, first of all, Bree would have been like, hey, I have a letter from you. That's weird. Should I open this? Oh, Roger, when you go back in time, maybe don't go. It's a bad idea.
Don't think about your damn dad.
It seems like Jemmy gets kidnapped. Is this a prank?
Please stop thinking about your dad. Although I won't stop thinking about your dad
because all creatures hot and nasty.
Anyway, so I found that to be confusing and kind of distracting.
Yeah. But also they dispatched the question of how they were going to communicate pretty quickly. Yeah. So bad, but also narratively efficient in a way that maybe I'm okay with as a trade. Maybe if the trade is we don't have to do some sort of weird rigmarole of how the hell does Bree find out where Roger is?
Yeah.
And they just went, is a relatively minor sin.
So she knows she has to go back. She suits the kids up. First of all, she is wearing a beautiful sweater.
Yes.
Yeah.
It must be noted. That sweater is really nice. It looks like it might be a little scratchy, but still pretty. Then she suits the kids up. Yeah. She suits the kids up. Mandy looks so cute in little Jimmy drag.
Yeah. With her braid. I want to bring my doll.
We're going to the Dick Rocks. The kids are there. Mom has to give them a little talking to.
And a little gemstone.
She hands them a gemstone and says, think
Honey,
of Daddy.
These came out of your grandpa's butthole.
Yeah.
Hold them close.
Please do not make his sacrifice worthless. Think of your daddy. And that's enough to set Mandy off.
Mandy goes, Daddy! And goes running for a dick rock.
Oh, no. This is bad.
Just like Grandma.
Can't avoid that dick rock.
It's like Bree's never been to a wedding before. Like, you don't give the gemstones to the ring bearer until it's showtime.
Until you are standing direct, all three of you are holding hands, boop, 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 then touch. No, she made a mistake. So that means something's going to happen to Mandy, and I feel like it's not great. I know you can't say anything further than that, but I feel like Mandy's going to go through by herself, and it's going to be bad. So that's my guess on that. But it was fine. The only quibble I have with that entire storyline is the drawer.
Yeah. Which, it's not great, but fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's goofy as hell, but Outlander is goofy as hell.
Yes, it is. And time travel is dumb.
Time travel is so dumb. But it has given us this show, so we are grateful.
You know what?
For it.
Yeah. Here's to time travel.
Here's to time travel.
Here's to time travel house. All right.
Thank you for getting that on mic, Amelia. Okay, so then let's talk Roger and Buck. This was one of my...
I loved it.
Yeah. So Roger and Buck are, having their Time Bro Woods hang with like a little lean-to made out of clothes and their horses, and they're just hanging out in the woods. Post Dad Fest. Dad Fest 17... whatever year it is.
1794. We're going to turn it back into Mom Fest now.
Yeah, it's about to be Mom Fest again. So they're just hanging out, and Buck is like, "Hey, I've got a question. So your dad was a time traveler, and your kid is a time traveler. Does that mean my daddy is a time traveler?" And Roger is like, Listen, Buck obviously wins this argument handily. Like, Roger just keeps going,
But I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. And Buck is like, fuck you.
Roger, he is wrong. However, there's one important argument that Roger doesn't make, which is, while we were there, they were both in the room. What was I supposed to do? Go like, hey, they're about to fuck and you're the result. Like, did you know that's your mom and dad?
Did you know that you're being made right now?
That's right. Like, I have a great idea. What if I alert the time traveling murderess that I know her secret?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. In there right now is a sperm that has your name.
Like, listen, do you hear this sound? That's you being made. That's you being boom, boom.
But so I couldn't tell you. But then Buck, rightly, as we all agreed, was, well, why did you...
Hold on. So, because Roger's first argument is like, well, but you might have changed something in history. And Buck is like,
okay, cool, but...
Yeah, but you talked to your dad.
So?
What? But for me, the sickest of all of the sick burns is when... when Buck says, it's a unfair something to know more about a man than he knows about himself. And Roger's like,
you traveled in time to help me find my kid, and I was maybe kind of an asshole, and then I didn't give you this incredibly vital information.
But then they end up back at Lollybrock, and they see Brian out front. And I thought it was baby Jamie because he was wearing the same clothes that Jamie was wearing. The tartan kilt and the shirt, Louise baling hay or shoveling hay or whatever.
It's a replica of a shot from an early episode.
But it's Brian. And they're like, hey,
it's good, which is a good touch.
Hey, Bri, can we post these letters? And then Roger's all like, bloop, magic drawer. Hilarious. But Buck is like, wait, I'm going to write a letter to Galis because she needs to know that somebody...
I'm writing a letter to mommy.
We don't know what's in that letter because Roger gives him the grace of not opening it up. But I wonder whether or not there's something in there that doesn't come back later.
There is it's very different in the book.
Okay.
I'm going to wait to discuss that until after the finale.
Okay.
And then based on what the finale happens in the finale, maybe not at all, because it's possible that with some like weird timey-wimey shit that it could happen in season 8 as well. I think it will be, if they're going to do it, it would be very clear in the next episode. They would have to set up that it's going to happen.
Okay.
But it would more likely happen in the next episode.
Something
anyway,
with Galis, you mean?
It is, yes. Yeah. It is looking extremely unlikely that that's going to happen is what I'll say.
Okay. But then they have another bro chat, which I've got to say, speaking of Kelly Clarksoning it, Roger and Buck get down in their little chair in Lollybrock. Beautiful lighting. Once again, that's something we should talk about. The lighting in this episode,
it's especially the very first scene, which we'll talk about probably next.
Yeah.
Which is an all-timer Jamie Claire scene. But all the Lollybrock lighting is beautiful. The Woods lighting is beautiful. The Dick Rock lighting is beautiful. Like, just... nothing but winners. It's beautiful.
So Buck and Roger, after they talk about their letters, sit down in their manly armchairs with their manly scotch and have some chats. And they do drink a bit. Buck then starts to reveal something about his past with Roger's great-great-great-great-great-grandmother, Morag, who we saw him save on the boat, if you remember, Stephen Bonnet's boat. And it appears that Buck might have assaulted her.
Yeah, it's not great,
but he's saying it now with regret.
Yes, and as somebody in the crowdcast said, consent hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah, they didn't know what that word meant yet.
It is by the atrocities committed against women historically, it is a relatively minor one. It doesn't mean that it's not terrible, and he knows it to his credit. He does not think that was a minor action, but he is recounting the wrongs that he feels he did his wife, despite the fact that he loved her so much, and it's a great scene, well acted. Then he ends up where they land is. because Roger wants to know why he's not going to go back to find his gem, to find his kid, right? And Buck is like, well, I think she might be better off without me. And aren't you also sort of my son? Like, aren't you all mine because of blood, and also because you've been treating me like like, didn't your daughter put little Barbie bows?
Didn't she comb my beard with that weird little pink plastic comb? What is that thing?
What is plastic?
Right?
That was a funny Buck moment, was when Roger said kamikaze, and Buck's like, what?
Kami what?
Kama what?
Yeah.
That was funny.
And so Buck is volunteering to go back to the 80s to tell Bree where Roger is.
Oh my God, it's a whole stramash once again. Like, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop.
Boop, 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 boop. It's like one of those French bedroom farces with the revolving door.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Mandy's going to go through the stone
It's
while
a
Buck
flea
comes
in
out.
her ear. That's a deep cut theater joke.
It's a
for y'all.
wee gummerel in her ear. So
what is Roger going to do? I didn't really understand
I
that
think he's going to stay put.
to see if she...
Yeah, to keep looking for
Because
Jimmy.
he sent the letter, right? And he's
Yes.
looking for Jimmy. He still thinks that maybe Jimmy is somewhere there.
They think that they are both like pretty fucking sure that Jimmy isn't there.
Yeah.
But what if he is? Like, they're not going to... Every time they go
Okay,
through the stones, they're risking their lives.
A
you
little
know?
wiggly. But also, why Buck? Why is he... He knows that the old ticker's only got this many beats left. And he had a heart attack the last time he went through. Could this be next? Could the finale be a wrap on old Buck?
It could be.
Okay.
But I think that's why he's volunteering to go, because
Yeah.
it's so dangerous and because Roger's family needs him. So if one of them is going to take a potentially useless trip through the stones,
Okay.
then it should probably be the guy.
Here's to Buck.
Yeah.
This guy.
Let's hope
You know what? You were a dick, but then you learned and you got better.
you got better and you're a good actor. And cheers to that fucking Alamance toast, which was so goddamn funny.
That was so funny. What's up, bro?
They need to let
Try to
Roger
kill
be
you.
funny more often, because
Yes.
Richard Rankin is so funny.
I miss the voiceover. I would have liked a little bit more of inclusion of that throughout this season, since we got it at the beginning.
Roger that.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Yikes.
But it was so funny and refreshing, and I could have used just a little bit more. of
Just
it.
give us a scotch more.
Just like once per episode
Just
anytime
the
they're featured.
tip.
Just the tip.
Just a little bit more. It was
Amelia will never forgive us.
very good side plot, and good setup for the finale.
Okay.
So Bree and Jem and Mandy are going back through the stones. Mandy goes
Too
AWOL and is like, "Daddy!" and takes off running. Buck is apparently headed back to the stones to go try to find them. Hijinks. Okay. Main event.
The Battle of Monmouth.
Not the choice I would have gone with. He shits the bed at the Battle of Monmouth.
Gone with Monmouth. That's how you get a MacArthur Genius Grant.
That is indeed
Yeah.
how you get a
Yeah,
MacArthur Genius
that
Grant. It's
is.
right up there with Bursar and then Bursar.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah.
Wait, do you not consider it to be slightly slant rhyme?
No,
Okay.
because it's
Too good?
Bursar as you were, sir. Am I forgetting one? Pardon me. Are you Aaron Bursar? Who's asking? Bursar and then Hamilton. I'm at your service, sir. You're acting nervous, sir. I wasn't. You punch the bursar? Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's
it's
pretty
great.
good. That's
It's
pretty
very funny.
But Gone with Monmouth is legendary.
So General Charles, what I was so excited about last week is General Charles Lee goes down in history as being just the fucking worst.
A panty waist.
Right? He is appointed a general. We saw him in the last episode being like,
Me.
I should be
General
George Washington.
Me.
Speaking of bitch, baby.
and they are doing the Battle of Monmouth, and George Washington is going, attack, and he's yelling, retreat, and George Washington's like, no, attack, and Lee, because he's all freaked out, is like, no, retreat, and it causes chaos. Luckily, James Fraser is in the painting, and is there to help turn the tide of the battle. Fun fact, Charles Lee is also prominently featured in Hamilton because the fact that he shits the bed so spectacularly and then runs his mouth about how it was also Washington's fault is why the first duel in Hamilton happens. Because Hamilton and one of his buddies, I can't remember which one, challenged Lee to a duel to like for Washington's honor, and Washington is like, don't do that, why are you such a butthole? And Hamilton gets in trouble. But yeah, he shits the bed at the Battle of Monmouth.
Oh my God. So let's start by talking about that first scene. So the episode opens in what we can presume to be Jamie and Claire's
Flashback
tent.
first. There's that flashback.
Oh, of course.
Montage.
The flashback, the montage, the voiceover of Claire talking about death and war and death.
The
and
writing is
how
great.
they're inevitable.
There are a couple
good job,
of
Danielle.
good.
Yeah, Danielle, great job.
There are a couple of good little. Oh, I didn't write anything down from it. I wrote from the next scene. But anyway, the writing is very good. We see a bunch of familiar faces.
Oh yeah, and we see all the battles that we've seen. We see shock on faces. We see Claire doing a lot of. It opens with Claire coming out of that French whatever it is at the end of World War II, like right before she pops open the champagne.
Yeah. With her fashion pinafore covered in blood.
Yep. Yes. And so we know that we're in for a war ride today, and it is a great point. War is inevitable.
And so is death.
Death is inevitable. Always remember that. Everybody listening to this. War is inevitable. Death is inevitable. We have it too good. Anyway, so it's Claire and Jamie. Claire wakes up and she sees her handsome ass husband with a shaft of light, just like,
And
kissing him.
his linen shirt so that you can
him.
just see the faintest outline of those goddamn forearms.
looks like a saint. Looks like a Renaissance painting.
The light bringing out the gold in his red hair, right?
Ooh, he's a little bit older, a little bit wiser, but just as fucking hot.
They have this beautiful conversation, and it's some of the best acting Sam Heughan has ever done on the show.
Oh yeah.
Like really excellent. They talk about his mother at length. One of the
How
things
old
he
was
says,
he when she passed?
a little baby,
A tiny baby. So he and his little brother or older brother.
older brother.
Oh, so his older brother is the one that got in the coffin with her?
No, she was giving birth when she died.
Oh, okay.
So like newborn.
Okay.
Right.
So there's
so
three.
it would have been Willie, the older brother, and then Jamie, and then Jenny, and then baby who died.
Okay.
So, he says that he's thinking about her among other people because you need the strength of your dead in battle. Also, we hear the drum and Claire wakes up and says, "You were right." Presumably, Jamie was like, "It's going to be tomorrow, just so you know." I get like my spidey senses are tingling. Battle's coming.
Time to kill.
The cereal color blood in my veins is like, it's your time, brother. It's time to go slice some throats. Let's fucking go. So he's thinking about his mother. There's this beautiful line about how after his father left the room, he went and peeked in the coffin, and Claire says, "Was it her? Like, did you think that it was his first dead body of many?"
Yeah, too many.
Jamie has seen so many dead bodies. Just murdered turtles in abundance. He says, no, it resembled her, but no, it wasn't her. But her hair was still alive, because Brian looks in the coffin and sees that somebody braided her hair to be seemly. And he's like, absolutely not. And he unbraids it and spreads it on the pillow. How much you want to bet that we get a direct reference to that in Blood of My Blood?
Oh, for sure.
The prequel, right?
Actually, my first thought when he said that line was, first of all, she's going to have beautiful red hair. Secondly, that wig better be magnificent.
Well, and it also makes you think of Claire's hair, right?
Yeah.
Like
He likes the curly
It's a
hair.
bigger deal in the book, but she's always like, I'm not wearing a fucking cap on my head. No, absolutely not. I'm not wearing, like, have you seen my hair? It is not going to obey your stupid fucking tiny piece of cloth. I'm not doing it.
But how does Rachel Hunter's hide under there? That's like a waterfall.
It's not curly. That's why.
Okay.
Claire's hair is like humidity. Boing. Whereas Rachel's hair is like humidity, shampoo commercial.
Humidity? I don't know her.
Oh, does my hair look more lustrous?
Humility, yes, it's a Quaker value, but humidity
No.
doesn't affect me.
No, it's not my
I don't
worry.
know thee.
Not my circus, not my monkeys. So they have this beautiful, and he's playing with her hair, and there's a line about how the only time he doesn't feel pain is when he's in bed with her, because all like his many grievous injuries, including fucked up hand, fucked up other hand, fucked up snakebite leg,
Fucked up mind.
fucked up back, the Cornish game hen back. Like this man
Fucked up
has
shoulder. That's how it all began.
shoulder. He's got so many wounds, and the only time he doesn't feel pain is when he's feeling an orgasm.
Is
right?
when he's feeling her
When I'm in your
sweet
bed.
titties.
And she says that too, and then they snuggle, and he says, "I'm just gonna stay here with you until I have to go." And it's a really beautiful scene. It's one of my favorite Jamie Claire scenes.
Yeah, Sam Heughan really knocked it out of the park. And we did, one note I do remember out of my shitty notes that I threw away was,
She literally threw her notebook across the room.
Yeah.
Sam does his best acting inside a tent. There has to be a tent involved. It is a
We
tent.
got so many good
Intense
jokes in the Crowdcast. Thank you to everyone who made one.
But this and that Abraham Lincoln monologue, or the monologue about, I know he wasn't talking about Abraham Lincoln, but do you remember this from, it was either last season or the season before that, where he's laying in there and it's right before this Simon fucking thing. Anyway, it's this kind of similar
he's talking
vibe.
about how it changed for him from being a thing that like Claire has said, hey, for history reasons, you should be on this side, to being something he really cared about. Yeah. Yes. And freedom and bloody blah, all that good stuff.
But great job, Sam.
Excellent.
Thank you
Both of
very
them were
much.
great, but it is obviously a Sam scene, and he absolutely
we're
crushed it.
We're getting the Claire Oscar later.
Also, it's not the only scene in this episode that I would say is among his best.
Oh no! When he's over her body,
we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Before we actually do get there, shall we continue with this plot, or do we go ahead and loop in the Lord John plot because it's shorter?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
It occurred to me at exactly that moment, but I got too excited about the
That
lighting.
scene was so good.
And the lighting.
We'll come back to this plot in a moment, but we have discussed the intense.
Let's talk about two of my favorite things that I'm sure will come up in our finale show on February 8th.
Yes.
February 8th.
February the 8th, live at the Oasis at 11:59 a.m.
Because it's not even noon. Yeah. Come hang out with us. There are cheap places to stay.
6510 North Sheridan Road.
Yeah, come hang
Rogers
out.
Park, Chicago.
It will obviously not be the last live show we do, but it will be the last live show that we do that's about season 7. So
yeah,
come hang out. Anyway, so Lord John, these are my two favorite things. Lord
this
John,
plot is Lord John and Ian, and then splits off.
Here's one. Lord John Grey and Ian solve crimes. I need it.
Immediately, I want you to know that the internet is now abuzz with please. Sorry, Buzz. I wasn't talking to you. Is now abuzz with please give us the Lord John series we deserve.
Yes.
Like everyone. It's not just us.
Yeah.
Good.
Come
this
on.
will be the first episode of the season where David Barry does not get, of the season 7B, where David Barry does not get the golden pamplemousse because he really only has 2 scenes, but they're great ones.
One of them is splendid.
Yes.
But he can't top that tent scene.
No, he can't.
Jamie's.
However, one is Lord John Grey and Ian solve crimes. I want it. I need it. I wish, despite the fact that I would change very little about this episode except for the painting and the fake stars. I wish we had more of the two of them like in the woods being like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
And like Ian bending down and picking up a leaf and smelling it and going that way. Like
I smell whiny bitch baby this way.
not that way. I smell an excellent German mustache.
Is that
here?
a Pilsner? And also
A Riesling?
Wiener Schnitzel?
Okay. They're over there.
Okay, so they come up. Oh, this is the other thing. Fucking people who are just in Outlander for half a second but are truly excellent.
Dude.
Oh my God.
Our German friend,
Let's talk about this
Von
hash.
Schnell.
Von Schnell for life.
just so shady. Like
Funny.
just,
Sly. Weird. I don't know. I loved him.
ugh.
And he can't really be included in the one and done situation at the end of the season
Oh, we
because
always fudge one and done.
he wins one and done for me.
There are some other good ones.
I
There are
know.
some other good ones
Oh my
coming
God,
up.
He's so funny though.
He is
eating.
great.
He is eating.
A mustache that we approve of.
Yes.
Yes.
A mustache we can get behind.
He's got a pewter tankard that he's just supping on.
Yeah. He's got a nice tricorner hat. He's got a prisoner in the tent.
Listen, Das is good.
Das is good.
He just is like, you did not come from Richard's. That's French.
Yeah.
You did not.
I can't do German.
I can, but I can't right now. It's not in my teeth. It's because I was too excited about French cheese.
Yeah. So Ian and Lord John show up. They find the Hessians. They know that Willie's in that tent somewhere, and they're like, "We're from Bitcherton. Let him go." And they're like,
What about payment?
yeah, why don't you pay me, ho? And they're
Show
like-
me the money and I will release und prisoner.
And they're like, bring the prisoner out so we can see he's okay. And they bring Willie out. He's in shackles. He's got a bag over his head. It's clear he put up a fight.
They literally put a bit in his mouth.
yeah, he has a stick between his teeth. And
Oh,
that
it is a horse bit. It's got iron and shit on it.
to shut him up.
And he's just like, I am a bastard. You can see him just going, did you know that I am a bastard? Despite
He
the fact
carved
that
it into the bit.
Yeah.
With his tongue. I will say that his death song is getting better and better.
It is.
I am William something. TBD. I once slept with a whore, but offered to just sleep instead of fucking her. I was mad about my dad and also my other dad. I carved my name into a horse bit with my own tongue.
So Wien and Lord John see him and are like, okay, we got to go. Let him go. We'll give you the money when you let him go. And they're like, And then
This is when the German is like, oh, but I must find the key. One key looks much like another. And I only have so many keys.
and Lord John and Wien have heard enough.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, time to shoot guns.
Pop, tomahawk, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead.
Yeah, Lord John is like, boom, gets the one guy, and then somebody takes off running, and boom, tomahawk, and boom, 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 boom.
Oh, we're left with only the one Hessian, our Von Schnell.
Mm-hmm.
And Von Schnell is all like, you're going to be sorry you didn't kill me. And Wien is thinking about Rachel, and he's like, go, whatever. We've got our prisoner, leave. But then you see Wien look at
This
the...
dumbass motherfucker goes, Mutter, I don't know, goes, you will regret this, eine kleine Notch music. Oh, God. Right? You will regret this. And Ian goes, oh, God, I will regret
You know
this.
what? I will. And you can see it on his face. And at that moment, I was like, he's going to go find that one.
As Buzz put it, he activates the bug protocol, and we know that man is going to die. But before that, they have a little moment of détente where Lord John is like, I know we've got stuff to talk about, but I'm so glad to see you. And Willie goes, swallow my anger. Me too, Dad. Me too.
Thanks, Dad. Thanks, cousin. I know we had a rough meeting last time.
Yeah, well, it's Ian first, and is like, thank you, Lord John. Thank you, cousin. And Willie goes,
Yeah, okay, fine.
yeah. Thank you.
I've got other things on my mind, but thanks for springing me.
Enjoy
Great.
fucking the love of my life. I gotta go.
And then Wien's like, I gotta just go take care of something in the woods here.
I gotta go see about a German.
And he tracks the dude down and he's like, oh,
We see the German looking behind him like, is
He's
that
gonna let me go?
Mohawk following me? And Ian goes, wah!
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, jumps on him from the front and just fucking guts him.
Guts him. He's like, you're right. I would regret it.
Donnerwetter nochmal. That's the only German I know, which is for crying out loud. That's what I imagine the guy said when Ian jumped on him.
One last Underberg for the road.
Those will be my dying words.
So Ian stabbed him in his left side with Ian's right hand, right? And then we see the blood on his left hand, which was presumably holding the shoulder down.
Maybe it was from a punch or something. I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, he kills our man Von Schnell. Here's to Von Schnell. Von Schnell!
You know what I would have liked?
Get it.
Yeah, get it. I would have liked if in the painting, instead of Jamie awkwardly holding a cannon, there had been Ian stabbing a German dude.
Yeah. Come on.
There
All
we
right,
go.
Von Schnell, deuces. You'll come back in our live show.
Okay, so let's divide our Battle of Monmouth chat into...
Oh, wait. Do we finish with Lord John and Willie?
Oh, yes. Okay. So then we get another God tier scene where Willie is back on his bitch baby shit and he storms into the tack room, I guess, and is like, well, no need to stand on ceremony, I guess. Mac the groom would be totally okay with me handling my own saddle.
Did I mention I'm a bastard?
It's not actually that much of an exaggeration. It's honestly a little bit hysterical Lord John in the last couple episodes. Energy.
Yeah. And then he pulls out that bottle and almost pulls the cork out with his teeth, like it has that energy, starts to go to town on this wartime brandy or whatever. And Lord John is like, hey, slow down. Let's fucking hash this out.
Slow your roll. You literally have a head wound. Your ear is bleeding currently.
You need
Maybe
to slow down.
Chill.
And then Lord John, oh my God, he's so good. David Barry, please come on our podcast. David Barry, we love you. We love you so much.
You are very good at
We
your
promise
job.
to be cool about it. if you
Yeah,
do.
we won't be weird. We won't be weird.
Vandervaart, you are also welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome if you decide. But
There's-
we will call you a bitch baby at least 20 times.
There is exactly one moment where Lord John looks like chagrined. And it's when William says something about like,
You
was raised that honesty is so
Mhm.
important. And gee whiz, I wonder what that says about you. And Lord John says, well, if you would let me explain. And Willie cuts, and that's when he looks chagrined. And Willie is like, you had plenty of time to explain. Like, you had decades to explain.
Me.
Who am I? William? Ransom? Ellesmere?
Fraser?
And finally, Lord John is like, okay, enough.
Shutting it down.
Shut your trap. Jamie, well, first of all,
I am your father.
You are my son.
Yeah.
Who am I? You are my son. No hesitation. You are my son. And you could do a lot worse. And at first I was like, hell yes. And then he goes, for a sire, I mean. I was like, that's also true. But you are underselling yourself, sir. He could have done a lot worse for a father. You rule.
Yeah.
You did right by him. You
took care of
great
him.
care of him.
You educated him.
You raised him right, even though he's throwing a temper tantrum right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're
here
great.
for him in his time of need. You saved his ass. Like, let's get back to basics. You're a good dad.
Yes.
So,
Like,
Willie, shut the fuck up.
yeah. And then you can see him still pouting, and we had to watch the scene twice because the first time we watched it, we yelled over literally everything that William said.
Because he was mean to his dad, and he shouldn't be mean to that person.
No.
That person made a lot of sacrifice.
And part of what I was saying at the beginning of the episode, part of the reason I think this scene is so great is that it is totally in character and understandable that he would react badly.
Yes.
Like, and he was just in this incredibly stressful circumstance and it sucked really hard. And now he's finally in a position to be like, just like blowing off steam
Letting it
to
loose.
a person that he has a right to be angry with. He
Right.
really does.
Yes.
But he's going very personal and he's not listening. So when Lord John finally shuts him up with like, you are my son. You are my son. He's like,
You're right,
You're
Dad.
right. And then Lord John starts talking about Jamie, and it is so
Lovely.
perfectly a mix of like, I love this person in a couple of different ways, and they are all valuable, but you need to know that the person you come from genetically is one of the best people I have ever known. So stop being an asshole about the fact that he was a groom.
Yeah.
Like, why are you
don't
such
know
a
how he-
snob, bro?
Yeah, you don't know how he got there. You don't know what he did to get in that circumstance, and you don't know what happened.
Granted, he is a skald.
That was funny.
yes.
Yeah, nice little shade there.
Yeah.
He is a Scot and a rebel. And then William has the whole thing about a traitor.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and Lord John says,
Don't use the word never.
it's never is not a word to be trifled with, which I think is one of the like underlying themes of this season is everything is more complicated than most people would let you believe. Like, there are very few absolute truths in life. There aren't two sides to everything. There are multiple sides to everything.
Yeah.
And it's complicated and messy.
And you don't know what would make you do something.
Yes.
Once again, this is the same thing with like thinking about Jamie's history and how he became Willie's father. You can't say never.
I mean, as an example, Lord John said he would never swear an oth against the king.
Right, and
then
last
he had
episode-
right, and then
and
he
they
had
had
to
to
save his own
To
life.
stay alive.
Right, and to like, which is important because other people are relying on him, right? Like, it wasn't just like, I gotta save my skin, although that is a perfectly valid thing to do. It's that he needed to stay alive to protect the people around him, and it was just a great scene.
Yeah,
and
it
you
was
can
very
see
good.
Willie being like, okay, yeah,
Okay, fine. I've got a lot to think about.
But
I'm going to go back to my tent now.
and in his tent, he's like just trying to mop the blood off his ear, right? And just like and
Clean himself up.
and give himself something to eat that isn't what's
Wiener Schnitzel.
Wiener Schnitzel. What's more German food? Sauerkraut. Okay. So he so he's just doing his thing when Fanny comes running up, and this little actress just
She nailed it.
She ate. She comes running up, furious, sobbing.
You said you
where
would
were you?
protect
You
us."
said you would protect us. Turns out that somebody who was at the whorehouse was like, "Oh, her? See her? She murdered a dude." So she's presumably in jail and is awaiting sentencing or
Probably execution.
right? So that we're setting that up for the finale. And
Willie's like, wait, tell me again. And then we hear the whole story. And then Willie's like, okay, let's go. No, you stay here. You don't move from here. I've got to go do something.
Yeah.
Do you think he just goes and tells Lord John that something's up? That's got to be it, right? Oh, don't want to say. I see that face.
That's the impression that I got from the coming next week.
Yes, he goes to get Lord John on his side. And Lord John is like, are you in love with her? Like, what's up with this prostitute? Okay, fine. But we're going to...
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you needed to bust somebody out of
he's
prison,
gonna go to Jamie.
I'm going to ask for Jamie.
and you happened to have a Scottish Terminator in your debt, what would you do?
I'd get that Scottish Terminator on the Cape. Somebody who has conveniently resigned from the army.
And it was written in his own heart's blood.
If there's like a callback to hot brunette imprisoned, Jamie comes in through the window with claret.
Yeah.
I will. Let's have claret at the finale. Watch.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's a great idea.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your hands off my wife.
Off
Take
this
your hands off
prostitute.
this laundress. So I would guess
That Jamie's
that
coming
perhaps it's going to be a family affair.
It's a family affair.
Willie and his two dads are on the case.
It's a family affair.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have got that in our future. In the meantime, how exactly do we wind up with Jamie being like, "Oh, I got time. I'm not busy. Revolutionary War is happening, but I'm not occupied."
So what it appeared to me was, and I don't remember the history of the Battle of Monmouth. It appears that it was kind of a general fuck up. And it looks like the rebel forces won and drove the British forces back, but the British forces were like walking past the hospital, kind of pissed off and in defeat. And then they saw some of them, and then it started a bar fight.
Basically.
Yeah.
So if memory serves, this is not actually what happens in the book.
Okay.
But I think it is more directly... I may have been biased by Hamilton, but in my memory, it is more directly General Lee's fault
Okay.
than it is in the show, but I may be wrong about that. What happens in the show is there's like a big stramash, right? And the Brits start retreating. They're retreating past the hospital, which is why why Lecky, the third best doctor in the world, the second biggest son of a bitch in the Continental Army, after Richardson. I guess he's in the British Army, so never mind. He's the biggest son of a bitch in the after Lee, second biggest son of a bitch in the army. He comes out and is like, Claire, which we'll get to all of that, but everybody's got to retreat. So the hunters take off, and Lecky like retreats into his church to deal with his patients. And Claire's like, well, I can't move this guy, so I'm going to help him. Presumably they won't fuck with the wounded, which they don't, right? But then Jamie is like, oh God, they're heading towards the church. I guess we better go, man. Let's go. And they run to the church. And once they're there, some drunk ass Brits are like, hey, rebels, you suck.
Fuck you.
And then the rebels are like, hey, Brits, those coats. And they start hurling insults at each other. And then men being fucking buttholes, shooting starts.
Yeah.
And when the shooting starts, Claire gets shot. So that is how Jamie ends up retiring. And we'll get there. Before then, we get once again another male doctor refusing to accept the fact that one Claire Fraser is the best living physician in the world. Cannot accept the fact that this woman knows more than them. The high point of the Claire being like, yeah, okay. First, he forbids her to be in the church because she doesn't know
This
what
is
she's
my
doing,
hospital.
right? And Denzel is like, you know what? V is being really stupid.
Denzel in his amazing apron. Oh, God,
Dr. Fraser is the fucking best. And he's like, okay, well, you can. Where'd you get your degree? And he's like, these very fancy
Edinburgh,
places.
you motherfucker.
And he's like, well, if I need a midwife, I'll call you. Blah. So Claire's like, never mind. I'll just do my thing out there. It's fucking fine. Bye. So she goes outside and sets up a tent, and she and Rachel, oh God, there's that great little interaction with Rachel too. She and Rachel set up their triage station basically. And Rachel, they're talking about being afraid. And Claire mentions being afraid of what if there's nothing after, or is that what Claire is afraid of? Nothingness, essentially.
Claire is having a real
Fraser.
nihilist turn in this episode.
In the Flash Sideways, which I'm going to reserve judgment on until we have slightly more information about them. They are very effective in the episode minus the stars. But we keep getting these flashes of Jamie and Claire having a conversation that is maybe from the past or maybe out of time.
Do you ever feel empty? Do you ever feel like there's no reason?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like all the things that you do just get swallowed up in time and nobody ever knows?
It seemed the crowdcast seemed to think that those were flashbacks to an earlier night. I read them as like Mind Palace.
Yeah, I thought it was somewhere outside of time and
Yeah,
space.
I thought it was Claire sort of having this conversation in her head with Jamie as she was dealing with the fear and stress of the battle, right? But Rachel is very specifically worried that Ian is going to be out there and he's going to be put in a situation where he needs to kill a bitch and can't because he's worried about her, and I will be left alone with my principles. Oh, great line.
Good line.
Excellent line. Claire does her best to comfort her. So they're doing their triage out in the tent when the British start coming back. And that's when Lecky's like, come inside. And Claire's like, I can't lose my patient. Or at one point she brings him in. Yeah, because somebody gets hot intel from Larissa.
Yeah, somebody gets hurt in a way that causes a sucking chest wound, which means that inside their body something is happening that would have collapsed their lungs or caused them
air pressure,
not
Here
be
we
able
go.
to breathe.
The procedure Claire does is called a needle decompression of a tension pneumothorax. Her technique is perfect. Is what Larissa says.
She's been
Thank you, Dr. Larissa.
Thank you, Larissa. She's been
The
consigned,
first student of the Fighting Quakers.
Yeah. She's been consigned to the triage tent. She sees this guy and she's like, I've got to get him in there because I need those tools. I need that space. This guy, if I don't do this right now, he's going to die. She's like, fuck you, Ledecky. Watch this. Pop.
Yeah. Because Lecky is like, he can wait. He's just got to burn.
No.
And Claire's like, nope. No, he doesn't. So she takes like a little copper straw and just pops it in.
And it goes.
And then there's a little like
wetly,
like a meat spurt.
Ew! It's pimple popper. Ew.
Meat spurt.
Woo! It's excellent. It's
excellent Foley work. A lot of great Foley work in this episode, and that was the first time I was like, yes, the professionals.
But Lecky is watching her do this, like, what the fuck? But the confidence and the skill with which she comports herself in this very intense moment is like he's like impressed against his nature.
He says the burn is bad, but it should be left to the air. And she goes, no, you are wrong. It's a severe burn. It needs to be dressed. And he says, I went to blah, 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 blah school. And she says, congratulations. You're still wrong.
You're still.
It's amazing. Later, he calls her Dr. Fraser, right? When he's trying to get her to come in.
Grudging respect.
Right? Which you'd think, character redeemed. Nope.
No. Neil's texting something. I'll turn the volume off. Anyway, so she saves this dude, but then ends up back out in the triage thing.
So she's dealing with other injuries when Lieutenant Bixby, who rules, comes up, and I can't remember if we've met before this, but he's excellent in this episode.
Really good. He gives us some hot goss. He gives us some exposition. But
he's also got a doom face. We've got multiple doom faces.
Yeah,
Doom face eye.
He does it in a really good way, though. Like, even though it's just him telling the story of the conversation he saw, I was very engaged by this particular actor.
He is the one who gives us the dirt on General Lee shitting the bed at the Battle of Monmouth. Mm-hmm. He says, like, Jamie and General Washington were like, let's fucking go. And they turn the tide. Now they're probably headed this way. And Claire's like, it sounds like we're winning. And he says, yeah, I guess we are. It's
for
very
right
nice.
now. Yeah.
But then the Brits start coming. The British are coming.
I got those coats.
The British are coming. And that's when Jamie and company ride up. And then Claire gets fucking shot right in the gut.
I was not expecting that.
No.
And the moment it happened, I thought to myself, how many times have I been like, Jamie's not going to die. Like, Jamie's not going to die. And never, ever, ever once did I ever consider that it would be Claire.
Same.
Right? So, surprise. Oh no. And it's a gut shot, which we all know is terrible.
Very serious business.
Right. Jamie hauls her in and like he's like, sorry, bro, can't do it.
Yeah, you can tell that he's horrified.
Yes.
He's trying to hold the wound and like whatever. And he asks for bandages, then he's like, there's nothing I can do. The shot is too deep. This is fatal. There are other people I can save, so I have to go. Which is like
True.
that is
Wartime doctor.
yes, battlefield medicine. That's exactly the decision that Claire would make if she thought this wound cannot be healed, right?
But
She would
Jamie-
move on to somebody else.
Not.
Jamie is not having it, and also he's wrong because he's the third best doctor in the world, not the second best doctor in the world or the first best doctor in the world. So he's like, I'm very sorry, General Fraser, but I've got to peace out. And Jamie he's
Curses
losing
his
his
ass.
mind, and he bellows, hold on.
May
Write it down.
devil
May the devil eat your soul and salt it well first. Whore. And then at one point, Claire goes, you called him a whore.
Which you know that even though she's suffering and thinking she's going to die, she's like, hell yeah.
Like, I would laugh, but it would make more blood spurt.
I would laugh.
This brings me...
And he already poked me in the side. My favorite part before he pieced out was he was like, I don't know. And then just pokes her wound. And then we get a sound effect equivalent to.
Oh, Amelia's having fun foleying.
Yes. I'm leaving the show to become a Foley artist.
Excellent.
Bye.
Excellent. You're
walk,
hired.
walk, walk, door slam.
Okay. Dr. Larissa also says Claire is shot in the liver, which is why she's bleeding so profusely. So she is there's like a blood trough, right? Like there's a little
Lake of blood.
which becomes important later because it also you could call it an inkwell of blood, right? So Claire's like, oh God, this is really bad. I'm so pale. It really hurts.
I need Denzel.
Get me Denny. And then Jamie sends Bixby off running. Meanwhile, one of the other Doom faces from last week who we met in the line shows up and is like, General, I have a message from General Lee. He wants you right now. And Jamie's like, too
fuck
bad.
off.
I'm not coming. He's like, but General Lee's in a really bad mood. So like, you should come right now.
Take
He's
your
like,
shirt off.
Nope. Take your jacket off. Take your shirt off. Off. And this poor guy is like, okay, here you go.
I briefly thought that Jamie was going to like put his general's outfit on Doomface and send him to be like, congratulations, you're a general.
You're
now.
promoted
Yeah.
now. No,
That's truly what I
instead,
expected.
Yeah.
he dips his finger in Claire's blood and writes, Sir, still polite,
Comma.
Sir, I resign, J. Fraser, on this man's back. And he's like, off with you. There you go.
You show that to him.
Go on. You show that to him. Because Jamie is blaming Lee for making such a giant fuck up of everything, which is part of why we end up the way that we do, right? More directly, again, at fault in the book, if memory serves. But he shit the bed at the Battle of Monmouth. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but he shit the bed at the Battle of Monmouth. So after resigning, Jamie is just like chilling with Claire's,
Holding pressure on the wound.
pressure on the wound,
Trying to keep all that blood
trying to
in.
bargain with God. Like, dear God, I know this is your house, but just so you know, your angels are not welcome here. I will fucking fight them.
And have you seen what I can do?
Just
Dear
so
God.
you know, I will absolutely fight an angel, and I will probably win.
I might win.
Thank you for making me the best serial killer in the history of mankind.
And also, kind of thank you for making me so hot because it's been real. It's been real.
Thank you for a magical finger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
One thing you could have done better. I could have been less of a weak seaman.
Yes, that would have been nice. I would have loved to be able to carry a tune, and also it would have been nice if the fireflies had been real. Thank you.
And if you have a moment later, let's talk about the stars.
If you have a moment, bring it down on the stars, God.
Stars in their multitudes, scarce to be conquered, filling the darkness with order and light. You are the sentinel.
Y'all, she saw Les Mis last week.
I did. Okay. Anyway, mine is the way of the Lord. What can I say? Okay. So,
And I guess God responds because guess who shows up?
Dr. Denzel and Rachel,
the second
both,
best doctor.
they're like, we have literally been trained for this moment by you. And Claire is laying there being like, it's probably the liver. There was a lot of blood. And Denny looks petrified, but he's like,
Okay.
time to suit up. He starts scrubbing his hands.
He puts on his little mask like he is getting clean.
COVID protocols.
Like Claire
it's
taught him
extremely
to.
Grey's Anatomy. He's just like prepping for surgery.
Yep.
And he says, Jamie, pray, right? Then our little somebody, one of
Doomface.
runs in and is like, General, I can't remember who, was very concerned to hear of your wife's injury.
Lafayette. It was Lafayette because it was his cheese.
But it was his cheese, but he isn't a general.
No, but it was from Lafayette. I'm pretty sure that the kid said Lafayette was really sad.
In
to
the
hear
book,
about your
it's
wife.
from Lafayette.
Okay.
So Lafayette. So
Yeah.
whoever it is, it's definitely from Lafayette stores, whoever sent it.
Okay.
Comes in and is like, he sent some tasty treats to help with her recovery. I brought snacks.
And Claire's like,
And Claire
is
goes,
there cheese in
cheese?
Is that Roquefort?
Cheese, there Roquefort. The blue stuff is penicillin. Make a poultice of it. It's
Denny.
gonna help.
Denny, pack the wound with blue cheese.
Treat my side like an olive.
Stuff it. Stuff it, I say.
Bathe me in gin. It will keep it sanitary.
Yeah, what's the thing? What's the yellow triaminic he gives her that makes her pass out? I want to know what that was.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking Buddy the Ether Mask
Yeah,
was going to
Buddy's
make a return.
cousin
but
came over.
Yeah,
Claire.
Buddy's liquid cousin.
This is our final note from Dr. Larissa.
Thank you.
I would like Dr. Denzel to be my new resident. No application needed.
Dr. Denzel, you're a fighting Quaker. It's clear.
Yeah, you are obviously
You
a fighting
might be
Quaker.
the OG fighting Quaker.
Yeah, given that you are actually
A Quaker,
A Quaker.
and got kicked out for fighting.
Yeah. You're the original. You're our mascot.
Yes. Yes. Oh, my
Stylish
God.
ass mascot.
He always looks so good.
Oh god, we're gonna have to make one of those like mascot like foam costumes, but make it so that it's actually hot. We're about to have like the hot Frosty of mascots.
Totally. Okay, so that's where we leave things. Is
We don't know that Claire's going to survive. We know that Claire's going to survive.
I mean, she has plot armor, but it is very suspenseful in a way that sometimes
I did not
these
expect.
fake outs are not.
I did not expect. And then they ended with the fucking stars. No.
In their multitudes,
No.
scarce to be counted, filling
No.
the darkness.
No.
It
Great episode, except for
stars and painting.
stars and painting. No. Thumbs down. Everything else, thumbs up.
Do you know how embarrassing it is for Starz to get the stars wrong?
If they got clouds wrong, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clouds illusions they don't recall. They're not
Maybe we
Joni
could
Mitchell.
forgive the painting. They're not painters.
You asshole. Surely they could have found somebody that, like, they honestly could have found someone to do a better job on Etsy. Who did that?
I don't know. It did look like our Canva-ing.
It was, yeah.
How dare you?
Not you. Specifically the one that she did for the live
For
show
the
where
microphone.
Jamie was
Listen.
holding the microphone. It was so funny.
That's our aesthetic. They're supposed
Yes,
to
you're
look
right.
bad on purpose.
That's true. We have made a design choice.
Yeah, our
to do that.
designs are supposed to look as good as our original music tracks sound.
Can you imagine you go to an art museum and you're looking at this painting and you're like,
Why is that guy there?
who's that guy? Is this like
Is this a restoration?
graffiti?
Yeah. Is this like that painting
Is
of the
this a
Brontes?
Banksy?
Is this like that painting of the Brontes where Branwell has been scrubbed out? Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Yes, I've seen it in person. Yeah,
You know exactly what
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about because it's the three sisters and Branwell, fucking speaking
fucking
of
Branwell.
bitch baby, was just scrubbed out, but there's this big wipe where he was, and it's like,
Is this
is
be
the
a
same
pillar?
person?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that?
It's like, wait, is this fucking play about us?
Yeah.
That's a Euphoria joke.
But yeah, good episode.
Great episode.
And we're coming into the finale of season 7B already. It really was hot and fast.
hot. HOTTO.
Geo.
Geo. There's a better
Yeah,
fucking
there's a way.
Outlander joke.
There's gonna be.
HOTTOUTLANDER. Okay, so the banging scale
Zero.
Zero. I just for a second thought that they were gonna fuck in that tent.
Yeah,
There has been historically some great tent fucking
Mm-hmm.
in this show, but no, they just snuggle, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah,
it was an excellent scene.
Yes.
Okay, they get up to get a beer. In fact, this is the episode is so good that we definitely
We had
paused
to pause
it,
to
but it was
pee.
not because we were not riveted. It's because we went back to watch a scene again.
Yes.
and then like took a breather.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Costumes. Let's talk about some costumes. Fashion pinafores, obvi. Truly excellent.
The Hessians forever.
Yes, the Hessians.
Those
the facial hair. Yeah.
The facial hair, the everything about those. Obviously, Wheon rules. Eye patch still remains supreme. Thank you, Lord John Grey. Keep it forever.
I think my number one of the episode is the makeup on William's chapped lips.
Oh yeah, the makeup was really good. Well, lots of wound makeup. This is always
Claire's
very hard.
pallor. It was a great makeup episode, a great practical effects episode.
And I forgot to mention Claire, fucking Katrina Balfring, killing it on the surgery table. Like her pallor, her quietness, her everything, very good.
the mumbling.
Yes,
And me, Dr. Denny, bring a fashion pinafore.
the second best doctor alive.
The cheese. Cheese. I need the cheese. Work on my night cheese.
Just really excellent. Also, speaking of practical effects, huge shout out to the teeny tiny bit of meat goop that came out of the pneumothorax straw situation. Yeah, so gross.
Oh, also costumes. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Bree's sweater in the 80s. It was very
yes. And Mandy wearing Jem's
Mandy's little boy
hand-me-downs.
drag. Mandy's drag king drag.
Daddy!
Bad news.
Cold.
Ooh, that's what I'm afraid
Okay.
of.
So I'm so excited for us to talk about the Golden Pamplemousse because it always fills me with delight when we can genuinely give it, and I'm assuming we are unanimous in this, genuinely give it to Sam Heughan.
I'm giving it to Sam.
take
Yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
unanimous.
100%.
That scene in the tent, first of all, was top tier. It definitely within his top 5 scenes in the entire series.
yeah.
The entire series. And him in his panic at Claire's bedside was also very,
The panic
very good.
and the rage and the grief and the like begging, I will beg this time when he says this, do not leave me. And she says, I won't. Cheese. So excellent. It's not the first time that he's gotten the Golden Pamplemousse from us, but this is absolutely the most like
Very impressive.
he could not more clearly be the highlight of this episode, and that
Yes.
is a great feeling. He's come so far.
Yes.
He was always hot, but now he's also a very good actor.
Yes.
And
Here's
hope,
to you, Sam.
Yeah, good job, Sam.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. It's enough to make us forgive you for the Men in Kilts witchcraft episode.
Is it?
Why'd you bring that up?
Yeah, I don't.
I think it is for me. I think it is for me.
Maybe the tiny blowback he might have received on that maybe taught him something.
I hope so. Like Willie, right?
Yes, maybe he learned a lesson.
I think he did.
Anyway, he was very good in this
He was
episode.
very good. Okay. Well, next week.
Not next week.
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now. So that's January the 17th. We'll be doing the live watch on Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on our Crowdcast if you want to be there.
Yeah.
We don't know if we'll be recording right after, but we will be watching the finale that night.
Yeah. And maybe we can use the time next week to record the Wicked episode we've been threatening.
Oh, yeah.
I'll check with Bri Bri. Bri Bri Bosque, not Bri Bri Fraser. He's a fictional character.
Is he?
And he's dead.
Yeah.
It's not prequel time yet. Okay.
In the meantime, may the devil eat your soul and salt it well first.
Whore.
We love you, whore.
One of the great lines of the show. Truly.
Whore! Bye.
Oh, wow. What a rollicking good time we all just had together, huh? Allison here, recording the outro by myself so I can say whatever I want. Julie can't stop me. But mostly what I want to say is thank you for listening. You can find more information on this and the rest of our podcasts at podlanderpresents.com. You can also find us on Instagram at podlandercast, at podlanderpresents, and at various other Instagram handles for our various other shows. And you should go do that because they're good and funny. And our social media is by Amelia Ham on the Loose Bazell. All Podlander Presents programming is produced by Allison Shoemaker and Julie Starbird. Our editor is Chris Barrett. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for joining the team. We're so grateful to have you. Our artwork is by Viv Pickles, aka Laura. And we are, as always, eternally grateful to our drunk Slack moderators, particularly Moderator-in-Chief, Jetta Polkowski. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast, where you can find all kinds of cool stuff, including our mostly weekly live watches, where we watch watch the episode right before we record, and you can watch along with us, as well as early access to episodes, some bonus content, and other fun things. Again, that's patreon.com/Podlander Drunkcast. You can also support us by leaving a review wherever it is that you get your fine podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever. Just give us a little review, and we will be so grateful to you. And we especially, in addition to all of those wonderful people who do those wonderful things, want to thank the following lovely folks who support us on Patreon, and they are Susan Springer, Cindy Ella, Catherine Bullard, Patty Drunkle, Rebecca's Gift, Jessica Richardson, Katie the Jorte Fishwife, Mindy Newell, Lara Coach, Mama LT, Brenda, Doc JWS, Sydney Taylor, Snazzy Knack, Lisa Brienne, Julia Gulia, Kathleen Ortini, Kelsey Kemp, Emily Day, Caitlin Reddick, Kristen and Emerson, Freckled Fury, Laura Colm, Amelia Ham on the Loose, Bazell, Liz and Tinkerbell, Rochelle Lefevre, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Kelly Mazzella, Chantel Salters, Mary the Falling Statue, Tara Lucchino, Viv Pickles, aka Laura, Mary of the Grapefruit, Ann Gibson, Ruth McCormick, Cara Marlowe, Trish McCurry, Julie DeToit, Jen Lynn, Kelly Bodden, Amanda Newton, Queen Elizabeth the Young, and Kiki the Wise. We are so grateful to all of you. Thank you for another wonderful year. We hope that you have very, very happy holidays. And we will be back soon with more sweet, sweet Outlander and or Bridgerton and or Jane Austen and or Girl Solving Crimes content, but probably mostly Outlander right now. That's it. We love you. Bye.